being, man, jeez. I've lost that level of toughness. All right, we can, yeah. Not everybody at once.
Just with Ramel and Jalen Wright, just what's their status going into tomorrow?
All the guys that, you didn't see at the end of last week have had a really good week. As always, game time decisions, but feel really good about all of them.
What kind of matchup problems does Xavier Leggett propose to your team?
Athletic playmaker. We got to do a great job. He's a special player, so we got to do a really good job, and that takes all 11.
Coach, I know with the receivers, you said game time decisions for Ramel, and then obviously Brew came out of that game. Just kind of what's the confidence level in Caleb Webb right now with what he was able to do last Saturday?
Feel good about Caleb, but feel good about Chaz. The young receivers continue to get better. They've played important roles on special teams, made plays. Caleb was involved in fake punt stop and, picks up a touchdown a couple plays later. So feel good about all those guys and their continued development.
Sticking with the receivers, how have you seen Dante kind of continue to settle in? Are you seeing signs of progress from him through 4 games?
Yeah, he is, absolutely. There's consistency in some of the things that he can continue to grow in, but love his demeanor, effort, energy, focus, preparation, all that stuff.
Hey, Josh, talk about having Coach Fulmer and the 98 guys back this weekend as well.
Really, it is. It's special to have an opportunity to have all those guys back here. Coach Fulmer and those guys have an opportunity to, remember and tell a bunch of stories on Friday night. I think they got a social gathering, and then obviously for everybody that's in the stadium and those watching from Vol Nation, opportunity to, remember and look back on that special season and those guys too. They're a huge part of our history, our tradition. It's been fun for me over the last 2.5 years getting to know all of those guys. It's a special group. They're still extremely close. It should be a really fun weekend for those guys here Friday and Saturday.
Josh, when a team does as many things as South Carolina does on special teams, does that eat into more than it normally would, trying to prepare for different scenarios?
Well, I think they're aggressive on special teams, so you got to anticipate. You got to have your eyes on your keys and be ready to play ball. Those are things that you work every single week because you don't know when it's going to get called from the other side of it. So, for us, we need to win special teams. The field position battle will be important in this. It changes the way the game's played offensively and defensively, and we got to do a really good job.
Tyler Barron, it seems like he's playing his best football of his career. What do you think he's doing well, and can you see something different in him from a mentality standpoint? And then, lastly, with that 98 group coming in, those are all players that are right around the same age as you. So, is that something where you knew some of those guys from recruiting? You knew. I know you got 2 years to your 25-year deal, but you know what I'm saying. Did you know any of those guys personally before you got here, just because you're around the same recruit age time frame?
I probably wasn't as highly recruited as most of those guys were, so a little bit different. But the 98 group, know of them, knew a couple of them, but for me it's been awesome just because as you're playing college football, you know who all those guys are, and so getting an opportunity to know them. Al Wilson's celebration, College Football Hall of Fame, a bunch of those guys were all back. Got a chance to spend time with them in the spring, and then get a chance to see some of those that I hadn't met when they came back for his event during the course of the season as well. Those guys are hugely important to our program in the past and in the present too. Those guys still live in our footprint and are a part of our recruiting too. And so it's been fun to get to know those guys. Tyler Barron, I just think his continued growth as a person, his consistency, his work habits, being completely healthy. When we first got here, he was a guy that was coming off of a shoulder surgery. His continued growth fundamentally has allowed him to absolutely be playing his best football that he has in his career. He's doing a great job getting off of the football. He's been violent and disruptive. He's playing with his hands extremely well. And then his versatility, his ability to play outside, Rabbits be inside and, play at a really high level in both of those positions. Him embracing those types of things, too, has been critical in what he's doing right now.
Your daily Cooper Mays question, how is he doing? What's his status?
Practiced really well. Like those other guys that I talked about, we'll ensure that through tomorrow and then obviously game day that they're ready to go compete at the level that you need to in this one. South Carolina's big, strong, physical, explosive up front. So hopefully we'll have him locked and loaded and ready to roll. All right, appreciate it, guys.